Welcome to Daily Flip, episode number 23. Shout out to Michael Jordan, who in my opinion is the greatest basketball player of all time. If you agree or disagree, post in the comments below. Today's episode is going to wrap up a few things. We didn't have one yesterday or the day before, and that's because I kind of took a little bit of a break from work. I took Monday off, was driving a little bit yesterday, so I had to drive 2 hours away to Jacksonville, North Carolina, and drive back. So I'll fill you in on all the details there. We sold a couple cars, which is fun. Also, if you see this microphone in front of me, it's not actually on, so I don't know why I'm actually talking into it, but if it were on, it would be because we are currently recording episodes for the upcoming The Car Flip Show, which is going to be a podcast for you guys, answering questions, reviewing products, basically, things such as this, things that I use on a daily basis, answering questions that you guys have about car flipping. But it's going to be in a format different than this. So basically, for you to consume this content, you're probably right now watching me on your phone, which is awesome. And I can show you things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to hear in a podcast. The podcast is going to be in a format that hopefully will be able to save you time. So whether you're at the gym, maybe you're in your car on your way to work, you're outside doing yard work. I do a lot of podcasts actually using, if I can find it, this little thing here. This is I guess what they call it, earbud, Bluetooth something. Stay tuned, we might actually give some of these away when we launch the podcast. They're very useful for me, so maybe we'll give some of them away during launch week, which is coming up in a couple weeks. If you're watching this in real time on YouTube, we're not far away. We just recorded the first ever episode, which was episode 0 of the podcast, which is about the podcast, about me, just filling you in on what's going to be to come on the podcast. So I'm very excited about that. Looking forward to being able to share more information about car flipping with more people in a very convenient format where you don't have to actually be in front of a phone or maybe by your computer. But it works well for this because I'll be showing you a few things and telling you about a few things that have happened recently. Some important stuff that happened was we sold a vehicle. So Monday, I basically took the day off. It was going to be snowing here, which it just was like 70 something degrees here in North Carolina. Then it was snowing, and now it's a little chilly today. It's going to be 61 or 63 or something tomorrow. So basically I took Monday off. I came in for like an hour on Monday just to take care of a few loose ends. And while I was here, a guy that had looked at a Jeep Grand Cherokee, it was on the front line right up here. We've talked about it in a few episodes. I told you that I was going to let my wife drive it. Ended up buying her a Porsche, which is also in a couple episodes back. So this Jeep Grand Cherokee had 282,000 miles. Guy saw it on Let Go. It was a Let Go or Offer Up, I believe. So we were asking $6,900. I paid $2,000. We put a $35 starter and something else. I'm blanking out on what the other thing was. The heater core on it. We had to fix a line going into the actual firewall. It was fine after we fixed it, so we had like a $2 piece of hose, a $35 starter, so that puts my investment at like $2,040. Sold it Monday for $5,500, so roughly 34 and some change, $100 profit on that one. We also sold a vehicle that has been on the front line. It's a 2006 Chevy Equinox. We sold one not long ago. This is another one we just sold. This one I paid $2,500. We put a $30-something wheel bearing, one other small thing. Sold it today for $4,200. And the reason I wanted to point out, especially the Equinox, you hear me talk a lot about my average profit being $2,000. That doesn't mean that I make $2,000 on every single vehicle. There are some, such as, let's see, I'm trying to think, the Jaguar here. This is one I'm going to make roughly $2,000. I had an offer that I accepted today and the guy never showed up, which is fun. I would have only made $1,500. That Equinox I made roughly $1,700. So those numbers are average with ones like the Jeep Grand Cherokee that we made $3,500. The one the week before we made $2,700, and sometimes you're gonna make $16,000 and sometimes you're only gonna make $900, but on average I make $2,000 profit. So those are two that sold recently. So we've got a profit this week of, what's that, $1,700 plus $3,400. Rough math, that's just over $500. This is another one that is supposed to be sold tomorrow. This is a 2003 BMW. We are asking $3,950 on this one. This is one I got on trade, so really whatever this one sells for, this is basically all profit because I didn't necessarily need the trade on the deal that I did it on. So you can see I'm asking $3,950. A guy offered 3,000, I believe it was 3,000 cash. He put down $200 to hold it. I needed a valve cover gasket. We took care of that for him. He's supposed to come pick it up tomorrow, so I'll update you in tomorrow's episode how this goes. So that would take my week from roughly $5,000 to $8,000 profit this week. And so far I've only worked like, I guess today I worked from 10 to now. That's 8 hours, roughly 10 hours for $8,000. Now that doesn't happen every single week. Some weeks I work my tail off and we don't sell a car, but it's fun when you have weeks like this where you really don't work that much and cars start selling. So otherwise, vehicles we have coming up, we're putting a lift kit on this one, so you probably see as this one goes from what it is now, which is a stock 2004, I believe, Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's getting a 3-inch lift with 32s, I believe. This is for a customer, so we'll show you this as it progresses through the process. This one here, we're having a fun electrical problem on. Basically, the windows will not roll down and the lights, parking lights will stay on unless you pull out a fuse, and it's just been a headache. We figured out on our Wrangler in the back, we need a computer, which has been difficult to find. It has to be a 2005 or 2006 automatic Wrangler for that one to work. So I'm hunting one of those right now. Otherwise, we've got this week, let's see, tomorrow I'll be recording episode 1 and 2 for the podcast that's launching. We're gonna be recording those, I guess you call it batch recording, so we'll record them in a couple days and then they'll launch out over, weekly basically. We're gonna have a podcast launching every Friday. We're gonna call it Car Flip Friday. So that's gonna be coming up. Otherwise, we just got the parts in for this. This is a 300 we've had for a while. We had a catalytic converter come in last week or the week before. It was the wrong one, so we got the right one in now. We have inner and outer tie rod ends that came in for this. We talked about in a previous episode, maybe 21 or 22, about where I order my parts and how I go about finding the best deals. eBay ended up being the better deal on this one, so that is what is in this package. Is heavier than I thought. There are inner and outer tie rod ends that I paid $24, so that's 4 parts. Just one of these parts would have costed roughly that from Advance or AutoZone or wherever. We got all of them for $24. Then we have down here our catalytic converter. This is for the 300 up front. This was $115, I believe. Yeah, the price is actually on the side here. If I can show it, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I'm gonna drop it. $115 right there, maybe. So this came in. So I don't know if we'll have time to do this week. We've got several jobs in the shop that are going to take up a lot of our time this week. One of them being, let me turn the lights on so we can actually see. One of them being this one here. We have an engine going in this. I think $2,065 is what we're going to pay for it. It's for a remanufactured engine from Advance Auto Parts of all places. It's just as cheap to order a new or basically a remanufactured engine as it is to buy one out of a junkyard. So we're going to go that route. We've got a Jeep Liberty and another Jeep in the back, so 3 Jeeps inside. Only 2 real Jeeps because I don't really count the Liberty as an actual Jeep, but that's just me. So a few fun things there. I've been putting off driving this Liberty in the back because I have to take it to my paint guy, but it doesn't have a windshield in it because we have to have some stuff fixed there. So I have to drive it from here like 15 minutes away without a windshield. I've never done that before and it's been really cold, so might end up doing that tomorrow because it's supposed to be, like I said, 63, so who knows, maybe I'll have that to talk about tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to be doing some editing on our podcast, which happens over here. And this is our lovely mixer. Need to rearrange these wires and once again clean my desk. If you've paid attention to the show for any amount of time, that seems to be like the bane of my existence, is keeping my desk clean. Not something I'm the best at, but that was episode 23. If you have any questions whatsoever about anything I mentioned, post them in the comments below. I'll come behind later this evening or whenever you post them and answer those questions. Otherwise, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I mean, come on, really? This is a great show, right? Okay, maybe not, but we would love to have you subscribed. That way you can see more information that comes up about car flipping in the near future. Otherwise, I will see you guys in episode number 24.